Hey, have you ever looked at Bill Cipher and thought to yourself, smash? Well, I just made you consider it, so too bad! Haha, welcome to Love Triangle. It's a game where apparently you're supposed to date Bill Cipher. I'm not sure where the plot is, but yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? The game is rated T for teens and contains mild language and adult themes such as use of alcohol. Players' discretion is advised. It was a warm July evening. The sun was just barely up, giving the pine trees around you a pinkish glow to them. After a long trip, you guzzled some water and wiped some sweat from your brow. You were in Oregon, the place where the infamous Bill Cipher statue was. And for the first time in your life, you're going to see him in person. As you trod the path that lay deep in the pinewood, you notice a small, gray hand sticking out from the bushes. Curious, you decide to take a closer look. It was him. His statue laid there, motionless, his body somewhat cracked and patched with growing moss, his limbs mostly gone, all except for the hand that shook with thought. And his eye, probably as big as your head would seem, was all there. You searched around the area for a bit, seeing if the treasure chest was taken, or even if it was there at all. It's right next to Bill! How blind are you? After all, you were the first to find him. After you found the treasure and the fake, seemingly meaningless golden coins, you stare at the statue and wonder what to do next. You receive a fake gold coin in your bag. You end up taking pictures of the statue, like any modern-day person would. Afterwards, you stare at his thin, small hand. Before the hunt for the statue started, you remember the rules that said specifically to not shake the hand. Still, you can't help but wonder what would happen if you do. Shake the hand? Oh, absolutely! You decided, as if you had any other choice, to shake the hand. Within an instant, the statue changed from before your eyes from a dull gray to a shiny yellow gold. Too shiny, in fact, that you sort of had to shield your eyes from the sun gleam reflecting from it. His form had changed back to the way he was in the show. Bow tie, top hat, his arms and legs, and most importantly, his big, somewhat cat-like eye was all shown before you. When the transformation was finally done, he floated close to the ground, wide-eyed and seemed frightened. It hardly seemed like he knew what he was doing there. I am alive! Holy heck, I actually survived that punch! He stared at his hands, shaking from excitement, until he backed away a bit and stepped on a small branch while doing so. He flinched, now coming into realization that he wasn't alone. He stared through you, shocked and a bit scared. He waved his hand around to see how you'd react. He noticed your eyes follow his hand. So you can see me, huh? He mumbled to himself, his hands somewhat shaky. Guess I'm still in my physical form, even after all that mess. The demon blinked a few times, puffed up his chest, straightens up, his bow ties, and speaks. Well, kid, you sure took your sweet time, but I'm glad you found me. Feels like I've been stuck here for ages. He turns around and starts to float away, waving at you with one hand. Anyway, later, sucker! When you both turn and look at your wrist, a faint glow of what looks like a transparent chain binds you to. Wait, a chain? How in the world did that get there? Bill, now seeming to once again lose his composure, started to frantically try to free himself from the chain. No! I spent years stuck in a stupid rock, and now this? As the dream demon panicked, you sit there and wonder what to do. What do? Try and calm him down, laugh at him? I'll try and calm him down. You decide to try and calm him down. He stopped trying to free himself from chains and looked at you like you were nuts. Calm down? Calm down? Do you have any idea what this chain means, kid? He held up the chains, as if he was playing a bizarre version of show and tell. This means we're soul-bound. It means I'm stuck with you for life. He dropped the chain, and with a sigh, his tension eased a bit. Thanks anyway for trying, kiddo. Well, since I'm stuck with you, I might as well try to get to know you. What's your name anyway? Oh, my name. It's What happens if I type Ford? He's a genius with 12 PhDs, and you're not. Why don't you try giving me a real name? Bill. It's cute that you name yourself after me, but you ain't fooling anyone. Why don't you give me your real name? Okay, fine, my name is Lion. Also, what do you go by? You a gal, guy, non-binary pal, what? They, them. So you're non-gendered, huh? Understandable. So, tell me, Lion, what brought you up here in the first place? How'd you know that was even here? You stood there quiet for a moment. How do you tell someone you saved them because you knew them from a show? As it was, this whole scenario was too surreal to even believe was happening. But besides, it was happening. As you stared off into space, Bill started rummaging through your things and took out your purchased copy of the journal. It's still in good shape and even has a store-bought cover still on it. What have we... Huh? How do you have a copy of Ford's old journal? And why does it look new? It's clear he has no idea where he is or the fact of his existence here. He's learned he's gonna learn eventually anyway, but after the event so far and 2 mental breakdowns, you're not really sure if he can take more surprising news right now. What do? Tell him what's up, lie to him and distract him with a compliment? I'll tell him what's up. You decide to tell him the origins of the book, who wrote it, and why you know of Bill in the first place. He floats there, still staring strangely at you. So you're telling me that... You nod. I came from a show... You nod once more. That a man with a silly goatee and a love for plaid made. And he made a stupid replica of the diary too. You nod for a third time. He seems to look at you like you came from a mental ward. Very funny. So funny in fact that I almost believe you. If it was true, why the heck is my statue here, huh? As he said that, he tossed you the book and tucked the chain, as if you were a dog on his leash. Anyway, what's the hold up, kiddo? Are we gonna stand here in the forest until dark, or are we gonna get a move on? As the twilight fades into a starry night, you notice that the events you're experiencing right now can't be undone. You didn't really expect to be even out here for this long, but given the current events, it's not like there was anything you could do about it. You've noticed that Bill, the very being you're chained to, looks doubtful on the situation both of you are in. Even if he's a psychotic dream demon and you've known him throughout the show, you realize that you may need to get to know the real him to gain his trust. You start putting up some options. Let's see. How is he? You try ask the triangle how he is. I don't know. Give him some sort of comfort, I guess. He replies with a skeptical sort of look. What's it look like? I'm chained to a lifetime of misery thanks to you. Doesn't look too good now, does it? Probably not the best time to bother him about the situation. Consolation. You try to keep Bill entertained by asking him about what consolations are up tonight. The demon rolls his eyes for a moment before you mention something about the summer triangle. He glances at you for a moment before turning his gaze upwards. Oh, you mean that? That's formed by Altair, Deneb, and Vega. They also happen to be the brightest stars in the 3 constellations of Aquila, Cygnus, and Lyra, respectively. He seems to be interested on the subject, despite that you've just looked this up on the internet. Good thinking, you. By the way, just because it's a triangle doesn't mean that's gonna impress me more. You must have looked that up, didn't you? After a small moment, you let out an awkward cough. Look, I just need to know what makes you tick, Mr. Cipher. Well, seems like any hope of wooing him went down the drain. You try to think about something else that might work. What would Bill Cipher Rule 34 be like? Don't actually look that up. I have some research to do. Hungry. You asked Bill if he would like to get some grub or at least eat something, just for the rule of the travel. Bill rolled his eyes. Wow, human food! I'd love to! Not? Well, that didn't work. What else? Let's get moving then. Seeing as how no other option was useful the slightest, you asked him that maybe it would be a better idea to get out of the woods. Yeah, seems like the only good plan in your head can come up with. Come on, this way. And soon he leads the way to somewhere. At this point, the sun had almost set completely, leaving them walking in the dark, almost. Plus, God, the forest was so incredibly thick, it was hard to walk through it all. Well, hard for you anyway, not for Bill. He, on the other hand, was completely phasing through everything that touched him. Everything, of course, except for the chains binding you to. It was strange. Somehow you two were chained together, and yet there really was no feel to it, like it was some sort of hologram. As he led the way, you were so busily distracted in thought, when suddenly you slipped over the edge of gravel below you. Right into a not-so-conveniently placed hole. Bill reluctantly is pulled and falls with you. Hey, Lion! Watch out! After the initial shock of falling, the demon flusters as he tries to yank the chain up, but sadly was unsuccessful. Why won't you move? Bill, frustrated that all he could do was be pulled down by you, reluctantly was dragged down into what seemed like an endless hole. Not the hole! There was a good minute of yelling, mostly by your part and partially by Bill's, before the initial shock passed and your throat grew sore. Yes, you're gonna be here for a while. You and Bill floated in the darkness, and after a few good minutes, you calmed down some. After a bit of adjusting, the fall became easier to get used to. The demon in front of you, of course, floated with ease, since he was so used to floating already. What? From his expression, you could easily tell he was aggravated. You okay? Bill blinked slowly at your question, looked at you foolishly. Yeah, perfectly dandy. I mean, we're stuck together for less than an hour, and somehow you managed to make us fall into a hole. Which, thanks for that, by the way. I'm so grateful. He scoffs as you float there in silence. Technically, what all that had happened wasn't really your fault, yet you couldn't help but feel he was blaming you for everything. Yes, you really should have been more careful. Before either of you could speak another word, a small light illuminated below, the small circle of white growing bigger and bigger as you fell. Within moments, remember that you were still falling, and that there was a strong possibility that there'll be a cold, hard ground you'll meet at the end. Your instinctive reaction was to close your eyes, hold your head, and scream as you fell for the inevitable. Immediately, you tugged the chain until you could grab onto him. He was a demon and could probably survive the fall, but it was better safe than sorry. Plus, you were pretty terrified and needed to grab onto something. Screams filled the dark hole until you both fell closer and closer to your doom. Let's hope either of you could survive this. The end. Well, that was just one of the 3 love triangle games. There's still like 2 more to go through, so hey, let's get right into it, shall we? This is Love Cafe. This is basically an AU where Bill Cipher is a barista, so hey, let's get right into it, shall we? It was a day like any other normal day. You wake up on time, get ready for the day, and head out to face the world. And just like every other day, you need a good, tasty cup of coffee to start it off right. Your old haunt had closed up shop due to a new, big competitor moving into your home turf. It was sad the little family business couldn't stand up to the corporate. They had the absolute best coffee, and now there were no more. Your only option in this tiny town was the competition. But you refused to give them business. After all, it was their fault you couldn't enjoy your favorite coffee anymore. Petty? Absolutely. Even though it hurt to do so because of your caffeine addiction, it was absolutely worth not giving them your business. Homebrew coffee only tastes good for so long before you begin to crave the kinds your old place served. Surely there was some shop nearby that wasn't them. It took some time, but eventually you find a small shop the next town over. It was more of a wide spot in the road, with no real reason to stop there unless you either lived or worked there. Today you're gonna have a reason to do so. Starbucks coffee! Frick. It didn't take too long for you to arrive in a rural town or to pull to a rumbling stop from the coffee shop. The petty side of you enjoys seeing the corporate logo plastered above the doorway. You step into the unfamiliar cafe, absorbing the comforting atmosphere of the place. This coffee shop was a tad smaller than your old one, but much cozier. The tables and booths took up a majority of the space, leaving not much room for a long line and a waiting area. It wasn't quite to your liking, but you really needed the coffee. You joined the short queue. You were so lost in thought that when it was finally your turn to order, you look up from your phone to address the barista. Standing across the register was something you'd never expect to see. Bill, what the frick? Welcome to Starbucks. How may I take your order? You blinked, bewildered by the thing talking to you. Was he really a triangle with one eye? Are you sure you even woke up this morning? This was so surreal. Come on, kid. We don't have all day, you know. You shake your head, deciding not to worry so much. After all, no one seemed to be freaking out about it, so maybe it was all in your head or something. Ahem. Right, your order. Let's see. I'll have a pumpkin spice latte. You asked for the pumpkin spice latte without thinking, as if it's the first thing that popped into your mind. You mildly wonder if you are really going crazy. The mysterious triangle punched your order into the register before gazing at you expectantly. He holds his hand out. You stare at his hand for a moment before you realize he wants payment. Fighting off the embarrassment, you quickly retrieve the total in your register and hand it over. He takes it and cashes you out. handing back your change as well as a receipt. Alright, your order number is 42. I'll be out in a bit. As the triangle grabbed the cup to mark it, you couldn't help but stare at the other and wonder. Even if you were somehow sleepwalking, there's no way you imagine something this bizarre. It seemed too real. The triangle quickly notices you staring at him and raised what was possibly an eyebrow, you think. It was hard to read such a face when you only have a singular eye and no other distinct facial features to work with. I take it that you're going crazy seeing a floating triangle working at a cafe. You blinked in response. Was it that obvious? You nodded at the triangle. Thank God you're not actually going insane. Well, you're not imagining things. Now quit staring at me like I'm some sort of living stuffed animal or something. You nod again. So now that you know you're not hallucinating, it just adds more questions. If you're not human, what are you? The barista rolls his eyes at the question. Look, instead of asking for my personal biz, let me do my job, alright? The odd triangle moves away from the counter in order to make your order. You shuffle over to the waiting area to await your sweet caffeine fix. You have to take a moment to check your phone. You look back up to see the barista again, prepping the workstation and setting up the equipment to start your order. Try talking to him again? Curiosity takes you over once more. You call out to him. His eyes perk up, and he looks up from his work and floats over. Yeah? Okay, you grab his attention. Now what? Ask him his name. The triangle's pupil lifts for a moment to give you a short response. Name's Bill. And you? My name's Lion. You told him your name was Lion. He responded with a nod. Or at least that's what you assume it is. It seems like it as the bends the top angle forwards a bit before straightening back up. Perhaps you're getting better at reading him. After a few moments, the triangle went back to focusing on his work. Great, now you gotta think of something else to say. Try to charm him? Yeah. You wonder how he'd react to you trying to flirt with him, considering the fact that he's a triangle and all. Might not get a lot of attention like that. Ask for his number off the bat. Decide to ask his number right off the bat, wondering what his reaction would be. Sure. Wait, really? Only if you tell me why you need that is. Kinda weird if I just gave you my number and I barely know you. Let's see. I need your number so that I can get to know you. I can't be harassing you while you work all the time. The demon raises his eyebrow, unable to counter that statement. You got a fair point, but maybe we could work out something. How about you come back here on one of my breaks so that I have time to actually give you my number instead of doing it now when I'm kinda busy? Good idea. You're not telling him it's a good idea. Before either of you could say another word, the triangle slides the lid over to the cup, finishing the pumpkin spice latte you ordered. He hands you the drink and winks at you. At least that's what you think he did, before he hovers back to the cash register to handle the new arrivals with their orders. You thanked him and grabbed your coffee, feeling at least somewhat satisfied about coming to the new coffee shop. The pumpkin spice was actually just as tasty as the first place, and you even got to know someone a bit from there. Maybe you'll go back there and see him again. What do you mean the end? Frick! I don't know why these games keep ending on a goddamn cliffhanger. Like, for the love of God, I just wanted to kiss a goddamn triangle, okay? Is that so wrong? But anyway, I know I said that there was a third game, but I just tried it out off camera, and turns out that it's actually just a reskin of the first game. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to play this for yourself, link to the game will be in the description below. I am hoping to God the developer actually continues working at this project, because for the love of God, let me know what happens. I want to love the triangle, please. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.